I am back, and I'm very sorry for my hiatus. I have been hard at work on some opportunities I hope to bring to my private group, and so it's taking me a little bit of time. But I want to get back in the saddle once again and bring some content that I think is perhaps needed for many right now. And yes, I know the video quality sucks. I've just moved. Give me a damn break. I will make it better as we go forward. All right. For the most of us, we've all got stresses in life, mainly coming, I expect, from expenses. And making a lot of money is certainly going to, at the very least, help out a great deal in achieving a freer and more peaceful life. I understand that as this bearer season rolls on, it's harder to find dry powder to invest. And it's even harder to deal with the stress levels inherent in seeing so much of our already invested funds staying in stasis, or dare I say it, even going down. And then as soon as we see a little upward movement, it's like people have forgot about cycles past and start to panic, not wanting to miss out on taking profits because you've heard time and time again from veterans in the space how important it is to take profits along the way. And yes, it is important. I totally agree. But it's also important to note that taking profits too early can also dash all your hopes and dreams before they even take off. And finding the right time comes with understanding cycles, understanding the larger macro picture of where things are headed. You simply cannot afford to live in a bubble or a microcosm and make your decisions based on what's 2 feet in front of you. It simply doesn't work. And I got news for you. $1 million nowadays isn't that much, especially when you factor in inflation. And so the sooner you set your expectations towards higher portfolio value targets, the better chance you have of actually attaining that freedom. The harsh truth is, planning now for a 100K return at the end of the bull cycle, while being a nice paycheck, isn't going to change your life in the long run, unless, of course, you live in a place where the cost of living is astronomically low and you have zero plans to ever travel or move away. Then maybe it can make an impact in the long run. And yes, I know for those of you with solid business plans that you have a lot of faith in, that 100K paycheck can go a long way in making that dream come true. That's a different conversation. And there are so many conversations we can have about our financial portfolios, about our personal finances. And we will talk about some of those in future videos. But for those familiar with me already, you know that over my time, I've built my financial portfolio to include businesses, real estate. I own some restaurants and bars, along with various other private equity initiatives that have given me some great exposure and experience over the years. So take it with some seriousness when I say that, in my opinion, right now, the most important element to talk about is what we are doing right now to prepare for this upcoming crypto bull cycle. When the mother of all markets arrives, are we prepared? Have we been planting our seeds now to reap the rewards when crypto summer rocks around? I'm telling you, if you haven't started to accumulate and act, you better pull your finger out and do so, because this is the exact arena in which the easiest and biggest fortunes will be made in the foreseeable future, certainly in the next few years. And there's a reason, a reason. There is now some never before seen excitement and interest from all these traditional finance entities about crypto. It's the iron that is hot and will continue to grow in the next years into the next realm and beyond, leaving all other markets in its wake. I'm telling a lot of you stuff that you already know, but it does help to be reminded of this stuff because we are going to see a huge, huge bull market. Analysis points to this outcome in so many ways that it may as well be a neon sign on the wall with a map and a blueprint for those who are brave enough or intelligent enough to not miss the boat, which is why it is extremely comedic to see people who should know better, who've been in the crypto space for a long time, publicly asking questions or making silly statements about whether it's a good time to sell now, just because we've seen some slight pumps in certain ecosystems. What? We are still tilling the field, sunshine. We are still accumulating. Unless you fancy yourself a trader and want to piss away money like 95% of them do, the blueprint isn't a difficult thing to adhere to if you remove your idiot, impatient thoughts and replace them with a roadmap we all should realize by now is the right one if cumulative experience is anything to go by. So, what do we do? Well, here's a very simple path to make sure you achieve these goals. And no, it doesn't require you to whittle away your portfolio day by day, doing busy work, shifting between projects because you can't stomach the volatility. If that's probably you, get out now because you're going to do yourself more harm than good. And there's a reason why the patient tend to do a heck of a lot better in these markets. Invest into crypto every day, week, month, whatever suits your schedule best, with X amount of money, whatever suits your budget. This is called, as we all know, dollar cost averaging, and it's without a doubt the most reliable way to position your buy in funds the most effectively. I won't go into detail in this video, but take my word for it or go and learn from the myriad of resources out there to back that statement up. So, where should you put your funds? Well, this, of course, depends heavily on your risk tolerance. But in my opinion, given that we may be in for the most lucrative period crypto has or will likely ever see during this next cycle, I would opt for something at least as risky as the following allocations. And remember, I'm not your financial advisor. Only you know what best suits your personal finances and situation the best. I'm just here to give you my 2 cents. Firstly, we can't leave them out, blue chips, right? And when I say blue chips, I'm really talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum. In my opinion, this next cycle, it's a 3 to 5x minimum. I would go between 30% to 50% into these with your overall portfolio. They're not going to make the crazy crypto gains that the space has become known for. But if you're starting with a sizable chunk of change, especially, and are happy with getting returns or better returns than stocks or real estate by quite a margin, if not the returns possible in other categories of crypto, then this is a good allocation to not miss out and also protect your value. It's actually crazy that we can even talk about tripling your funds as slightly better than the stock market. But to be honest with you, that's the reality we currently find ourselves in. Secondly, medium caps. I would go the same, depending on your tolerance, 30 to 50%. These should probably be below Ethereum, but in the top 50 coins. Tokens like Chainlink, XRP, Polygon, Solana, Uniswap, Litecoin, etc. We can see a plethora of solid options, lots that have been around during the last bull cycle that have real world applications with a lot of developments since their release, with some great momentum and growth that we can predict to occur. The right picks here can severely limit the risk factor inherent in these investments. So it does pay to stay educated. Then, of course, we have the small caps. Usually, I would go, again, depending on risk tolerance, between 10 and 30% of your allocation. These include tokens like, of course, our beloved Casper. Tokens we see huge potential and some huge price movement ahead for, while also being careful not to confuse these with the lottery ticket tokens or the meme coins that your favorite Twitter accounts may be pump and dumping. Newsflash, for most who aren't starting with large amounts of money, these small caps are really the only way to expose yourself to some rocket ship possibilities. Yes, some of the other categories will make some money and we may get lucky, but this is the category that usually has the biggest impact on people who have positioned within them early on. The best you can do is ensure that you are looking for gems with the right selling points of potential. It's not easy and you have to be brave to make the big bucks. That's just fact. Now, I will say importantly, one of the outliers here in my mind is the Richard Hart ecosystem, pulsechain, pulsex, and hex. I'll be transparent with you. As you may have heard me say before, I truly think that these will be the story of this next bull cycle, and they, without a doubt, form the largest allocations in my portfolio. Many of you not familiar with the ecosystem, take this as you will. For me, those tokens are set to explode and positioned right now really on the precipice of a time where their unique selling points, including ownership and being truly decentralized, will be at the forefront of what is deemed extremely important, if not mandatory, within crypto in the year or so to come, and then throughout. Especially with everything going on now through the micro financial world, these things are only getting bigger and bigger factors. The mini pumps we have recently seen, to me, are just that, mini. Selling anytime soon will be to sell your future away. So stay patient with this rocket ship. Again, this is purely my opinion and belief, so take it as you will. But get exposure to all. You're still early. Why wouldn't you? Find the risk factor that you're okay with and act accordingly. Having the guts to take these chances comes with education and learning more about the landscape, more about the projects and tokens you like the look of. What are the flags to look out for? What's coming down the pike? How do things align with various technological developments and wider macroeconomic elements? What does the leadership look like? These are all questions you need to take a look at and analyze the answers. You can streamline the learning process a great deal by leveraging the folks out there already doing the research. There's a lot of us out there. It's never been easier to obtain information. Just decide who's full of crap and who knows what they're doing. It's not easy to ascertain that right out of the gates. Sometimes I know, but you can see who brings value and who doesn't in short order after you take in a lot of the information they're given. It's important to say, and this needs to be said time and time again. Be patient. Learn and make smart decisions now, and I promise you it will pay dividends when the bull market comes to town. Lots know this and need reminding. Others may not, and so I encourage you right now to pay attention. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. We will be talking about a host of other ways to improve your finances, not only crypto, but smart leveraging, real world asset investing, as well as some opportunities that I'm bringing to my private group. So feel free to join that if you're interested. But right now, if I'm going to leave you with one message, particularly if you're in ecosystems, tokens, projects, areas, and categories of crypto that have seen some upward momentum recently or even downward momentum, it's too early. It's too early to make a decision whether you buy or sell, or sorry, sell. Buy if you like the look of it and you think it's still early and you agree with everything I've said, continue to take positions. But when it comes to selling, because you've seen a little bit of volatility, don't make the same mistake. We've already shaken out, certainly in the RH ecosystem, a number of times where people have sold, obviously, and come to regret it further on. We saw that last cycle too with Hex when things kind of had a little bit of volatility, but at the end of the day, made some astronomical gains for those who were able to stay vigilant, had the patience, had the conviction. More importantly, the understanding of how these things work, the understanding of narrative, the understanding of hype cycles, and the larger crypto cycle as a whole. We are too early. If you sell now, in my opinion, you are selling away your opportunity to actually gain some life changing funds. I can't say this enough. I know I've said it a fair amount, but looking at Twitter, looking at the micro climates that people tend to get wrapped up in, obviously it takes reminding. So stay with me, stay in good spirit. I know it's not easy. There's a reason why people make the big gains, and it's because they've earned them with their patience, with their emotional control. And let me tell you, when you come out the end of that cycle, you are going to feel a lot more of a mature investor. This is the type of thing that you learn while doing for the most part. Until you've actually experienced those emotions, you can't really understand what it's like to come out the other side. The best you can do is lean on some of the folks who've already done it. And I get that too. But until then, stay tuned for the next one. And until then, I will actually try to make my video quality a lot better so you don't have to look through such a blurry lens. Take it easy, guys.